backing up.
Vix, you flanking him?
Yeah, I'm trying to get this
I got your
boost.
snipe support. Oh, are they rushing you?
Yeah, I was blinded.
Friendly is claiming the supply card.
Got one of them down.
Come on, guys. Pop out again.
Down.
All this down.
Got one down.
He's coming, he's coming.
Down.
He's... Voodoo got me. Got me!
About to blind him. Push up, y'all.
Yep.
Push up right now.
Go, 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 go.
I got you, Vic.
Dang.
Down.
Down.
He is.
Med kitting up. We can push. Alright, push. Push on this pool.
He's down.
Oh, there's a guy right behind me. There was distracting us by peeking out of that corner.
That
I
one
fell
down.
for it.
My seeker's out.
There's some of them on the ground right there.
Yeah, they got the high ground right now.
You're on the other side of the wall.
Yeah, I am. Sorry, hold on.
Got one down.
Here.
Yeah.
Over there. Oh, it's right here. Gotta go get it.
Bridge.
I wiggled and survived.
Nice.
Oh, there's a go. I want to be able to use those cannons.
One down.
I blinded.
They get lots of damage.
Yeah, this
Oh,
is
he down on the bridge.
Oh, behind me.
I'm coming up.
getting up. Alright, here we go.
His Liberator just jumped down.
Got him down.
See him? Nope. Night. That shot.
So I'm on busy.
Hey everyone, Be Righteous here, and I want to wish all of you a happy new year. I hope everyone had a great 2019. I'm really excited about what the future holds for my channel and optimistic about the Division 2's next title update. But on another note, I have my next build for you and I'm pretty stoked about it. I actually teased it in my last video, so go check that out if you haven't already. If it's your first time here on my channel and you're interested in builds from DPS all the way to skill, then please drop a like and hit that subscribe button. All your support is greatly appreciated. Blind Stealth, a multifaceted build that grants the ability to be undetectable while enveloping the role of a covert agent. If you see me, most likely it's too late and you're already dead. This also carries with it a skill that incapacitates your enemies temporarily for just the right amount of time, enough for you to wreak havoc on whoever's affected. The purpose of this build is to inflict massive amounts of damage without being seen. It has a great support mechanic that's also good for team synergy as well. The 90% pulse resistance reduces the 10-second pulse effect duration to only 1 second. So if you're in a dark zone or in conflict and you get pulsed, just run around a corner and disappear like a ninja. I don't know about you, but I use my pulse to continuously track down my targets that I chase even behind walls. It's great for anticipating where they're going. This build prevents that from happening. I've always wanted to make a build utilizing the 3-piece yaw gear, and now I have a reason to, and it's actually viable. I spent a lot of time on crafting this build, so let me show you what I came up with. Alright, here's the build, and I just want to say that this build is different from a lot of builds that you might be used to. I've been really enjoying it in the past couple of days. The stealth in this build is really amazing, and I'm going to explain to you a little later on in the build when I get to the skills about why it's important to not be seen when you're pulsed. I'm going with the technician specialization because this is another hybrid, and that 50% skill power always helps with hybrids. But I just want to say that honestly I feel like they're going to nerf that 50% skill power because that's too much, man. You get too much utility from just that alone. This specialization has a great skill tree and there are a lot of talents on there that are useful. So let's get into the build though. I'm going with the Carbine 7. Now this is a personal preference. I really like how the Carbine 7 feels, even though it doesn't have Allegro. It already shoots at almost 800 RPM. I'm looking for one with Allegro. I've been looking for this for the longest. I got one yesterday but it doesn't do nearly as much damage as the one that I have. It only does 20.7k damage. This one does 23k. Which one would you use? Now I also have, that I found yesterday, this Police M4 that most of you would probably use. It's unrolled. It hits for 22.1k and it has the talents I need on it already. I just need to roll leg roll. So I'm gonna test this out, but I just got this yesterday, so haven't had time. The secondary I'm using is the Nemesis exotic sniper rifle. Now this sniper rifle I haven't used much. I've used in my previous builds a long time ago, but I just shied away from it because I just been making all kind of different builds. But this sniper, you can use another sniper if you like, but the sniper is very strong. It is an exotic. It's probably one of the best exotics that's been released. The longer you charge it up, the more damage it does. When you aim at enemies, it gives you a pulse, you know. So I'm running technician, and I'm running the technician laser that allows you to pulse enemies. And we all know that on exotic weapons you can't add any attachments because exotic weapons already have their own exotic attachments. So the good thing about this is that it has a pulse mechanic as well, and it allows you to see enemies through walls for 15 seconds. You know, the main talent on here is called counter sniper. Shots fired deals 0 to 100% weapon damage based on how long the trigger is held before releasing. Like I was saying, the longer you hold it, the more damage you do. And that's why I said this is one of the best exotic snipers they came with, because I mean, just look at all the talents. They're all viable. The holster talent, it's called preparation. It says why holster gain 15% headshot damage when you're scoped with your current weapon. So for those who don't know, you don't have to be scoped in with your current weapon. You just have to have a scope on it in order to activate the talent. And for the pistol, you know, I'm using this for the holster talent recharge because I'm using the blinder Firefly, and it said when you are at full armor, when you deploy a skill, it grants 25% duration charges and ammo. So it allows my blinder's effectiveness to be a little bit longer than the duration. Alright everyone, here's the build. I'm running a 3-piece yaw. Okay, the 3-piece gives you pulse resistance 40%, and if you look at the specialization trees, every single specialization gives you 50% pulse resistance. Add that 40%, you got 90 right there. Now I was wondering, a couple of my clan members were asking me if there are pulse resistance mods, and I think the dev said that there was going to be pulse resistance mods, but I just haven't seen any. Comment down below and let me know if you've seen any of those, but personally I haven't, because I would love to get 100% pulse resistance. I mean, if you can get 90, why not 100? So I'm running spotter on the yaw mask and skill power with damage to elites. Now yaw gear is difficult to get because it only drops in the DZ. There's no targeted area out in open world. It only drops in the DZ. You just get what you get. This is what I got with this, so I wasn't able to roll any more damage to elites because I needed to roll skill power on it. I'm running spotter for the technician laser so that I can pulse enemies when I aim at them. Oh, and if you have the blueprint for this, then you can craft these, which will make it less harder to get. Fortunately, I have the blueprint for this, and I was able to craft a lot of these to get the one I needed. Chest piece. I'm running a pristine example. Now this is an important part of the build, okay? The 2-piece for the yaw gives you 5% weapon damage. That's like having a free devastating. Because I'm not able to get it on my holster, y'all, holsters don't come with a talent. So this piece is very important, alright? I'm running perfect vigilance with armor and 15% weapon damage. Perfect vigilance gives you 30% weapon damage, and taking damage disables it for 4 seconds. Now the purpose of this whole build is to not really be seen, and to be stealthy, and to be at a distance, so that all of this damage you see right here is in effect. The damage potential is crazy in this build. It's nuts. So when I use a sniper on somebody, they're done, period. They don't see me, they're done. Now I could have rolled a 25% armor roll on here to make it more tanky, but I just can't pass up that 15% weapon damage, especially with the type of build that it is. So the Nemesis is very good in this build. I mean, you're a sniper, you can fight at a close distance as well. The holster, I have a yaw holster, a double yellow, because you need to reach 5 yellows in order to activate spotter, give you the extra damage. I have 766 skill power and 20% skill haste. More skill haste is ideal because you're using the Firefly. Whenever you're using skills that have a cooldown that you need readily available, skill haste is a must. Oh, and I forgot to mention, you need 7 reds in order to activate vigilance. So make sure you try and get this composition if you can. Gila backpack. I've had this from the beginning. This Gila backpack is amazing. I changed it up a bit. I had this in my urban legend build, and this right here was like 38 4,000 health before, and I didn't realize it, but it already has the armor rolls I need. So I just roll this fat 11% weapon damage. This build has near to maximum amount of weapon damage on all the pieces that require it. You know, normally people have a backpack doesn't have any weapon damage, so if you can get 11% weapon damage on your backpack, you are going to be dealing insane damage. I got hardened and efficient, and I love efficient. If you haven't used it already, then you don't know what I'm talking about, but just use it and see what I'm talking about, especially in conflict. Anywhere, any situation, you know, when you're in a manhunt, whatever. These med kits help you so much. Got some Fenris gloves for the AR damage. You know we need that, man. And I'm running it with Wicked, okay? That's 13% weapon damage, 10% health. Wicked is that talent that gives you 15% free damage whenever anybody has any type of status effect. Really good talent. I really like this, especially for this build. And you'll see why I'm using this in this build in particular. Knee pads. I'm running Yaw Gear knee pads with skill power and skill haste. Pretty simple. Has a yellow mod slot to help me get to 5. Alright, for the skills. Okay. Now, this skill right here synergizes with the Wicked and the Eyeless. Alright. Now, Eyeless, I forgot to tell you, deals 30% weapon damage to blinded enemies, and after 3 kills, applies blind to the next enemy you hit. No matter where you hit them, it's gonna blind them. 30% is a lot, man. So the damage that stacks on this build is nuts. 30%, 15%, 30%, 15%, 11%. You get the picture, right? So, blind or firefly. I got it on the 18-second cooldown. That's why I said that skill haste is very important. You can get the cooldown a little lower than this. I would prefer 15 seconds, but this is what I could do. So the blind duration for PvE is 6 seconds, and for PvP is 2.4 seconds. That's just enough time for you to inflict that burst damage you need. I'm sure you've seen in the clips how much damage I was dealing to them people that was blinded. Like I said in the beginning of the description, I was going to explain to you why it's important to not be seen. Well, it's because of this. If you didn't know, let's say you blind somebody, the only way they can see you is if they have pulse. So if you have 90% pulse resistance and somebody pulses you and you throw the blinder at them, they can't see you when they're blind. Amazing aspect to this build. So that, along with hazard protection, is the only thing that allows the enemy to get an advantage of you. But the 90% pulse resistance makes it so that it's way more effective against your enemy, and it also helps your team. So like, let's say we're in a situation and I you know, people are sitting in cover in front of you. I say to my team, yo, I'm throwing a blinder, you could push. This is a very good rush mechanic, and it helps out the team, especially if there's like a group rushing you. You could blind the whole group, because unlike the burster firefly, the blinder firefly locks onto their target way quicker than the burster does, which makes for a more efficient targeting system, and it incapacitates them for a while, allowing you to potentially win the fight. Now, I always said that the most important thing to run on the blinder firefly is speed. Okay, now the only reason I don't have speed down here, which I can, is because it will take my 190% skill haste away, and that'll bring my cooldown a lot higher. I don't want to do that. But this does nothing but blind the enemy, so you just need it to get there as fast as possible. If they're running from you, you need it to chase them down. So I put a 120% speed on here, and it makes it better. You know, I hate when I throw a firefly and it just goes really slow in the air. It makes it so that it's easier for them to try and shoot it. You know, so speed is the most important thing you need on here. If you can get more skill haste, then I suggest 2 speeds. So when they're blind, 3 things happen. Okay, Eyeless gets activated, Wicked gets activated, and if they don't see you, you have Vigilance. All of these at the same time are active, and the burst damage here is so much, and you don't have to rely on the blinder. That's why I have all of these high weapon damage rolls on here, so you could be able to deal massive damage whether they're blind or not. So if they're blind, it's just a bonus for you. Second skill, I'm running the Chem Launcher. Heal, the Reinforcer. Pretty simple. The only reason I don't have my maximum heal mods on here, my 96 and 97, is because it's real hard to get skill power in this build. Even though I'm running Technician, I only have 1 utility mod slot, and I couldn't roll skill power on my chest piece. I couldn't roll skill power on my backpack. So I had to squeeze as much skill power out of this build as I can, and I was able to just get it this high. So I'm sure you guys, some of you have rolls that are a lot better than mine, so you can pull this off, get it to 3000. So that's it for this build, man. Call it blind stealth, and rightly so, you know. If you like to be a sniper, if you like to be in the shadows, if you want to be a support for your team from a distance, this is the build for you. This build is great. I love it. One of my favorite builds, actually. I didn't expect it to come out with this way. I actually was going to do it completely different. You know, I had a completely different idea. It was going to be with a rifle, and it just didn't work out. So this was molded out of that, and I'm very satisfied with it. If you enjoyed this build and if it helped you out anyway, please drop a like and hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I just want to wish all of you a happy new year. I hope you had a great 2019. I know I did. I made some New Year's resolutions, and I'm going to go into this year very optimistic. I think that the Division 2 devs are going in the right direction. I know it's hard to be patient with them, but what they've done so far with this game, as far as the different mechanics and how they made the skills better and just how they balanced it, honestly, I think it's been more good than bad. I mean, just think about Division 1. How long did it take for them to actually address the game? It took them like a year and a half, man. The strides that they're taking in this game, I think, are good. So that's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next build video. Stay tuned. Be right out.